how are you doing? I hope you're doing so well. I know it's been so long since I posted a YouTube video. I think the last video I posted was honestly December, so it's been almost 4 months. And I've taken quite a long break. I don't want to talk too much about it. I've just been feeling in a little bit of a creative rut, but I felt a little bit of a spark today, so I thought I would sit down and talk to you guys about one of my favorite places on earth, Salem, Massachusetts. I am so excited to talk about Salem. I took my first trip back in June of last year, and actually I'm getting married this year, and my bachelorette party is in Salem, so I'm going with 4 to 5 of my closest friends, and it's just going to be a great time. So I wanted to kind of sit down and talk about a travel guide that I made. So if you're going to Salem, this is going to have some really good information for you, but let's go ahead and get right to it. We have visitor and travel info, the 5 seasons of Salem, accommodations, activities, dining, shopping, bathrooms, transportation, and parking. So we're gonna kind of cover it all, but I really wanted to try and give as much detail as I could. But at the same time, there is so many things to do in Salem that if I gave you the name, the description, the hours, all of the above for everything that I'm recommending, we would be here for literally hours. So I'm gonna attach a ton of links in the description box of this video. So if any of this sounds interesting to you and you wanna learn more about it, definitely check the links in my bio and it'll take you right to the websites where I got all of this information. The first thing I wanna mention is that Salem, Massachusetts, I think it's Destination Salem actually that created the app, but there is an app just for Salem. It's called Salem, MA on the App Store. I'll attach a little picture of it on the App Store here. It has got so much helpful information on there. I mean, so much stuff on here. I'm telling you guys, you have to check this app out if you're taking a trip to Salem soon. As far as the seasons of Salem go, a lot of the locals will say that they have 5 seasons instead of 4. You've got the typical spring, summer, fall, and winter, and then they also have an October specific season. Now, of course, I'm not gonna name every single event throughout the whole year because again, we'd be here all day, but I am going to tell you about a couple that I think you might enjoy. So we're gonna start off with the winter. In the cold season, they have a festival called Salem So Sweet. I believe this year it was February 9th through the 11th. But they have ice sculptures and hot chocolate, and it's just a really beautiful event. I highly recommend checking it out if you're going to be there in February. Now, as far as March goes, you'll see the Salem Film Festival, and in June you'll see the Arts Festival, the North Shore Pride Parade, and the farmers markets will begin here. I have not been to any of the farmers markets in Salem, but I bet they are just beautiful, and so I'm so excited to check out the farmers market this summer while I'm there. For the month of July, obviously they have their big 4th of July celebration. In September, you'll find the Salem Lit Festival, the Enduring Hawthorne event, and Trails and Sales. So if you're watching this video, you probably know that basically every day in October is Halloween in Salem. From the 1st to the 31st of October runs Salem's Haunted Happenings. Believed to be the largest Halloween event in the world, this grand event kicks off with a huge Halloween parade on the first Thursday in October. Plus, there are also fireworks on Halloween night over the North River. For more information on this specifically, you can visit hauntedhappenings.org. In November, there's Santa's Arrival and the holiday tree lighting, as well as Salem's holiday happenings. For December, there's Christmas in Salem and the New Year's Eve launch, which is basically just a New Year's Eve celebration. Moving on, we are going to be talking about accommodation. Let's start with hotels. So I have a handful here on my list, and I have stayed at a few of these specifically, and I loved them. So first off, we've got the Cove at Salem, which is, I think, a newer hotel, and oh my gosh, you guys have to check out their website because they have the coolest themed rooms I have ever seen. I mean, they are iconic. If you're into that and you like the kind of spunky, unique themed rooms, you have to check them out. There's even a really kind of creepy clown one. That's the one I would pick. Next, we have the Hampton Inn Salem, the Hawthorne Hotel, and the Salem Inn. And we're gonna end with the Salem Waterfront Hotel and Suites. Also, make sure if you're planning to go in Salem, you book as early as possible. Oftentimes when people leave one year, they rebook for the following year. So rooms tend to book up about a year in advance. But one thing to keep in mind is you can always check out the neighboring cities because chances are they're going to be a little bit more affordable and they might have some more availability. As far as inns and B&Bs go, I have a couple on my list here as well. We've got the Amelia Payson House, the Coach House, which I have also stayed in, and it is so modern, so chic. I mean, you feel bougie while you're there. It is the most beautiful boutique hotel. I mean, it's gorgeous. Then we've got the Daniel's House Inn, Lorelei's Love Nest, the Merchant, Morning Glory Bed and Breakfast, the Salem Inn, which I have also stayed in. The Salem Inn is so romantic. It's right downtown. It's a perfect location. I mean, literally perfect. It's got this old, homey, romantic feel to it. It's a beautiful location. And we're gonna end here with the Stepping Stone Inn. And you can even camp in Salem. There is a place called Winter Island RV Park where if you have a tent or an RV, you can kind of camp out there. So that would be a fun option during the summer if you like to camp. Okay, here's the biggest section, activities. So we're gonna start off with museums and attractions. I'm just gonna kind of go down the list here. Again, I'm not gonna give descriptions of all of these. Some of them are kind of self-explanatory, but I want this video to be fairly quick and to the point. So for museums and attractions, we've got Charter Street Cemetery. Okay, putting a cemetery under an attraction feels wrong because, I mean, we want to be respectful of the dead. And I don't know if I would consider it a museum either, but I didn't have another category to put this in. But if you're visiting Salem, I definitely recommend you check out the Charter Street Cemetery. Just take a little stroll. It's really beautiful. You can take some time to reflect. And honestly, this is really popular, especially in October. I'm pretty sure that they have someone like standing at the gate and like letting people in small groups. So definitely something to keep in mind. Next we have Count Orlok's Nightmare Gallery. I did this last June and it was so fun. I highly, highly recommend this one. This is on the main drag, Essex Street. Next we've got Cry Innocent. After that we've got the Daniel's House. Next we have Frankenstein's Castle, which I actually just learned about recently. Apparently it's Salem's best haunted attraction. I didn't get to go there last year because I didn't know about it, or maybe I don't know how I missed that, to be honest, because I love haunted houses. But I was told that this one is the best one in Salem, so I'm definitely gonna go this summer while I'm there. Next we have Friendships of Salem. After that we've got Gallows Hill Museum / Theater. Of course, the House of the Seven Gables. I took a trip here and it was definitely worth it. So beautiful. You're right on the water. You can take a tour of the house too, which we didn't do, but I think maybe we'll do it this summer. The International Monster Museum. I love this one. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but that one was incredible. The New England Pirate Museum. You can take a trip to Pioneer Village. The Halloween Museum, and of course the Salem Witch Museum. You can take a trip to the Salem Witch Trials Memorial, and you can even take a trip to the Satanic Temple headquarters in Salem. Actually, I think that's the headquarters. I'm not sure if that's the headquarters or not, but I'm pretty sure. Not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that, but if you're in Salem, definitely check it out because it's a really unique place to go take a peek at. The Witch House, of course. The Witch House is that black building that you see everybody taking pictures in front of. I'm pretty sure it's the Jonathan Corwin House, and it's the only building left with direct ties to the Salem Witch Trials. Again, could be wrong. I'm pretty sure that's accurate, but someone might want to fact check me. And then we've got Ye Olde Pepper Candy Company. Again, I went here. It was so cute. I love the vibes in there. And then we've got the Witchery, which is like broom making. I think they have like tarot classes or performances. Definitely something to check out. Next, we're gonna move on to trolley and walking tours. I have a couple here that I'd recommend. We've got the Bewitched Historical Tours, the Black Cat Tours, Candlelit Ghostly Walking Tours. That sounds right up my alley. The Forest Lore Tour, Salem Food Tours, the Salem Trolley, which is super popular, and I think I'm definitely gonna give that a try this summer. Witch City Walking Tours. Then we've got some harbor tours, such as the Essex Heritage Boat Tour, the Mahi Harbor Cruises, and private events. Someone actually recommended this to me, Ghoul Please, on TikTok and Instagram, and I think she has YouTube too. I'm pretty sure I'm subscribed to her. She recommended the Mahi Harbor Cruises, and we've got the Schooner Fame of Salem, which is also a harbor tour. And the last section of activities is psychics. I have 4 that I've looked into. We've got Crowhaven Corner, Leanne or Timothy at Pentagram, Omen, Psychic Parlor and Witchcraft Emporium, and the Salem Seance. restaurants. Moving on to dining. One of my favorite parts is food. So the first category is restaurants and bar life. We've got Bit Bar, Gulu Gulu Cafe, Finn's Seafood and Grill, Red's Sandwich Shop, Rockefeller's, and the Tavern and the Hawthorne Hotel. For breweries, we've got a handful here, such as Couch Dog Brewing Co., East Regiment Beer Company, Beer Company, and Notch Brewing. For deli, pizzas, and subs, we have Coffee Time Bake Shop, Essex New York Pizza and Deli, and Flying Saucer Pizza Company. And for sweets and treats, I only put 2 down, Curly Girl Candy Shop and Whimsies, but again, there are so many options here that I don't have on my list. So feel free to kind of explore a little more, but those are 2 that I would recommend. Let's move on to shopping. So for gifts and souvenirs, I'd recommend 1925 at the Hawthorne, Bewitched in Salem, the Black Cat Curiosity Shop, the Black Veil Shop of Dreary and Wonder. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is a little bit away from downtown, or at least the main drag, I should say, but it is so worth taking the short trip out there. This shop is like nothing I have ever seen before in my entire life. It is a tattoo parlor and a shop, and it is so incredibly gorgeous. I'll see if I can find a picture to put up here, but I mean, you guys, I cannot say enough good things about the ambiance of this place. It is incredible. Next, we've got Emporium 32, House Witch Home and Healing, Moon's Gift Shop, Nocturne, and Why Not's Wands. If you love Harry Potter, you're going to love Why Not's Wands. Moving on to witch and occult shops, we have 3 written down: Crowhaven Corner, Hex Old World Witchery, and Pentagram. As far as clothing shops, we have Coven. You guys, I posted a video about them on my TikTok and it went viral, and Coven saw it and they commented and they were so kind. Definitely, if you haven't followed me on TikTok, what are you doing? That is my main platform. It is at Cassie's Coven, and I post so much on there compared to over here on YouTube, so definitely go check me out over there if you haven't. Next, we've got Die With Your Boots On, Vamp Fangs, and Modern Millie. We've got 3 sections left. We've got bathrooms. So public bathrooms, especially if you're going in October, it's going to be kind of hard to find a restroom because not every place will just let you go into their store just to use the restroom. So you've got one on South Harbor Garage, 45 Derby Street, Central Wharf, which is 160 Derby Street. The Salem Regional Visitor Center has a public restroom you can use at 2 New Liberty Street, and then Artists Row. I'm pretty sure that one's just seasonal during their main season, but that is 24 New Derby Street. But for current bathroom locations, you can visit salem.org/restrooms, and it'll give you a list of all the ones available. As far as transportation goes, there are a few options. There are the Blue Bikes, the MBTA train and bus service, the Salem Ferry, and the Salem Skipper. The Salem Skipper was one I just learned about because for my trip we were talking about renting a car versus Ubering, and while I was researching for this video, the Salem Skipper came up, and it seems to me like it's a ride-sharing app just within Salem, and it seems pretty affordable, so that's definitely something I'm gonna have to check out. And our last topic here is parking. Again, you can visit salem.org/parking for more in-depth and current information as well as maps. But the basics are there are all-day parking garages that accept both cash and credit cards, such as the Museum Place Garage, the South Harbor Garage, Church Street lots, and Crombie Street lots. And also there are 2 to 4 hour street meters too, where you can just park on the street and use the little meter thing. But again, if you're going in October too, maybe think about Ubering or taking the train into town or just walking if you're able to, because I have been told that parking in October is impossible. So keep that in mind. But I think that we covered pretty much everything that I wanted to talk about in this video. I honestly hope that this video was helpful. I hope that you can take maybe at least one little tiny piece of information. Again, please remember to check out that Salem app because that is where I got a lot of my information, and it is so stinking helpful. If you're going to Salem, I hope you have so much fun. I hope you have the trip of your life. Take lots of pictures. If you go to Salem and you remember that you watched my little video, please feel free to tag me in the comments or in your picture because I'd love to see all of your wonderful pictures. You can find me on Instagram at Cassie's Coven and on TikTok at Cassie's Coven. Please feel free to stick around and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one very, very soon. Bye-bye.